I want you to close your eyes for just one moment and picture this. Another night, another promise to yourself broken. The house is silent, everyone's asleep, and there you are, standing in the kitchen, surrounded by empty wrappers, feeling waves of shame washing over you. You're not weak. You're not lacking willpower. You're a successful, driven professional who can negotiate million-dollar deals, lead teams, make complex decisions. And yet, when it comes to this one thing, you feel completely powerless. Why? Why can't you stop this cycle? Why does food have so much control over you when you're so powerful in every other area of your life? I understand this struggle intimately. I lived it. If you're new here, I'm Jessica, and I'm a former tech executive, and I know exactly what it's like to be crushing it professionally by day and losing control with food by night. I spent years hiding food wrappers, using separate credit cards for late night deliveries, feeling like a fraud despite my professional success. And during my climb up the corporate ladder, I gained 140 pounds in 5 years. I tried every diet, every solution, every program. I even had bariatric surgery, the most extreme option, and I thought it would solve everything. But I quickly learned that surgery just fixes your stomach. It doesn't fix your brain, which is the problem. Then I became a certified nutrition coach and an emotional eating coach. And I've since dedicated my entire career to helping high-achieving women break free from the cycle of nighttime binge eating, just like me. The exact same struggle that I faced. I've worked with over 120 women who thought they were alone in this struggle. Women earning 6 and 7 figures, leading teams, women who seem to have everything under control except this. Now, what I'm about to walk you through, my approach, this is not another diet because diets don't work. It's about understanding the sophisticated psychological mechanism that's been protecting you, even when it feels like it's holding you back. So let's start by understanding exactly what nighttime binge eating is. And let's be brutally honest about what's really happening when you find yourself standing in the kitchen at midnight, surrounded by empty wrappers. Because nighttime binge eating, it's not about hunger. It's never been about hunger, and it never will be about hunger. It's a sophisticated communication from your body, a complex survival mechanism that most people, including most professionals, completely misunderstand. And this isn't a matter of willpower. Willpower is not a strategy. This isn't about being weak or lacking discipline. You have discipline. This is about your brain executing an incredibly intelligent strategy to manage something deeper. When you're binging at night, your brain, it's sending a message. Stress from that impossible project, emotional tension from a difficult stakeholder meeting, the constant pressure of maintaining a perfect professional image. Your brain doesn't distinguish between a physical threat and a high-stakes meeting, a work challenge. To your nervous system, stress is stress. And when stress accumulates, your body goes into survival mode. Physiologically, here's what's happening. Cortisol levels are spiking. Your brain seeks the fastest, most immediate form of comfort and energy. Sugar, carbs, quick fuel that provides an instant mood boost and temporary relief. Willpower doesn't stand a chance against this biological response. Telling yourself to just stop is like trying to argue with a hurricane, and I live in Florida, so I know exactly what that's like. Your body has already made its decision long before your conscious mind catches up. This isn't a character flaw. It's pure, unadulterated neuroscience. And now let's get real about something most people just never talk about, is that your nighttime binging, it's never been random. It's a carefully coded message from your body, and it's time that you learned exactly how to read that message. So let's talk about identifying your triggers. Now, triggers aren't just about what happens in the moment. They're a complex landscape of emotions, experiences, and unprocessed stress that has been building up all day long. The common trigger categories, they're not what you think. We're talking about way more than just stress or boredom. We're talking about the deep, often invisible emotional currents running beneath your professional surface. Work-related triggers, the impossible stakeholder meeting, the project that seems never ending, the constant pressure to perform, to be perfect in the moment you feel like you're not measuring up. Imposter syndrome. Next are emotional triggers, feeling unseen, feeling unvalued, the quiet moments of doubt that creep in after a complete day of projecting total confidence, the gap between who you appear to be professionally and how you actually feel inside. Now here's how you solve this. Here's the game-changing strategy. It's emotional mapping. Every time you feel the urge to binge, I want you to set a timer for 15 minutes. It can be on your phone, it can be an analog timer, however you need to do it, okay? Ask yourself, what am I really feeling right now? Is it stress from that client presentation, anxiety about an upcoming deadline, loneliness after a day of constant professional interaction, feeling overwhelmed by expectations? And this is where journaling becomes really important, because your journal, and I know a lot of people hear journal and think like hippity-dippity, wooey, rainbows, unicorns, but stay with me here, okay? Your journal becomes your most powerful tool, all right? It's not just a record of what you ate, but a detailed map of your emotional landscape. So track not just your food throughout the day, track your feelings, the time of day, the specific circumstances. Look for patterns, connections, the subtle ways your body is trying to communicate with you. Because using your journal is about building self-awareness. And I want to be clear, self-awareness is not judgment. We should not be judging what we're doing. It is about gathering data, gathering intelligence. Think about this in the same way you think about running an experiment for a new product at work. You're going to put out some hypotheses, gather some data, analyze the data, make some conclusions. Same exact thing. This is about understanding the sophisticated survival mechanism that's been protecting you. This is not about trying to stop the binge. What we want to be doing first is understanding why it's even happening in the first place. Then once you've started doing that, we can now get tactical with 5 critical strategies that will help you overcome your nighttime binge eating. And these are strategic interventions designed to interrupt your binge eating cycle at its core. Strategy 1, the 15-minute pause. I talked about this already, but when you feel a binge coming, you have a critical intervention window. Now, your brain's gonna resist this. I know it all too well because I've experienced it myself, and it's gonna scream that you need to eat right now. But here's the truth. That urge will pass. 15 minutes of conscious breathing. Sit with the discomfort. Watch the urge move through you like a wave. Most binge episodes can completely dissolve if you just stay present for 15 minutes. Strategy number 2 is mindful eating. This is not about restriction. This is about turning eating into a deliberate, conscious experience. So I want you to slow down and actually taste your food. Crazy, I know. Put your fork down in between bites. Notice the textures, the flavors, the experience of nourishing your body. Strategy number 3, using alternative coping mechanisms. When stress hits, you need options to relieve that stress that are not food. So I want you to do deep breathing exercises, a 5-minute meditation, journaling, go call a friend, go for a short walk, or go gentle stretching. Those are just a few options. And I want you to create this list in advance, put it in your notes app on your phone, so when the moment hits, you're prepared with alternatives. Strategy number 4, environment redesign. Your kitchen is not just a room, all right? It's a strategic battlefield, and I want you to remove the trigger foods. This is not with willpower, but with intentional planning. And if a trigger food is not in your immediate environment, you can't eat it during a moment of weakness. Now, we can't rely on this forever because you should be allowed to be around trigger foods and be fine. But for the immediate future, while you're first getting through that, we got to remove the trigger foods, all right? Replace these foods with nourishing alternatives that actually support your nutrition goals and your professional performance. You can also leverage herbal tea. You can journal, bring a water bottle into the kitchen, tools that serve your highest self. Strategy 5, emotional mapping and tracking, okay? Every binge is a message from your brain to your mouth, all right? Start tracking what you're feeling, the time of day, the specific circumstances, and the potential triggers. This is not about perfection. I know it's really easy to forget to track things or forget to do it every time. Do not let not tracking one thing stop you from tracking the next time. Do not employ the all or nothing mentality. This is about creating a system, okay? A system that makes your healthy choice the easiest choice. So now that we've identified our triggers and developed practical strategies, the most critical work begins, and that's transforming the internal landscape in your brain that drives your nighttime binging. Look, here's the hardest truth about all of this, all right? And something that took me a really long time to grapple with. Nighttime binging is not about food. It's never been about food. It never has been about food, and it never will be about food. It's about the story that you tell yourself. Every binge is a complex emotional experience. It's not a moment of weakness. It is a sophisticated survival mechanism, a communication from your deepest self about unmet needs. When I was binging every night my first year living in a brand new city, it was because I was lonely and stressed out from work and felt like I had no one to talk to. So binging is communication from your deepest self about unmet needs, unexpressed emotions, and internal pressures. Let's break down the mindset transformation that you need to make this long lasting into 3 critical layers. Layer number 1, deconstructing negative self-talk. Look, most high achievers, and I know because I'm one myself, but most high achievers have an inner critic that would make a drill sergeant look kind. When you binge, that voice becomes a tornado of shame. I'm a failure. I have no willpower. I'll never change. These aren't facts. They're harmful narratives that you've been conditioned to believe. So instead, I want you to start reframing. This is information, not a catastrophe. My body's communicating something important. I'm learning and growing this experience. Layer number 2, developing radical self-compassion. Compassion is not a weakness. It's your most advanced professional skill applied to yourself. Would you berate a team member struggling with a complex problem? I hope not, but some of you might. But I hope not, okay? Would you shame a colleague for not instantly solving a challenging issue? Of course not. You'd offer understanding, support, curiosity. I want you to extend that same sophisticated approach to yourself. Layer number 3, breaking the shame cycle. Shame is a trap, a sophisticated psychological mechanism designed to protect you, but ultimately destroying your potential. Now, shame leads to more binge. So if you want to have more binging, increase the shame. And more binging leads to more shame. All right, it's a self-reinforcing loop that keeps you stuck. Breaking this cycle means viewing binges as data, not disasters. Recognizing your inherent worth is unchanged by food choices. And number 3, understanding that healing is a non-linear journey. Your worth is not determined by what you eat. Your worth is inherent. It's unchanging. It's powerful. This is about transforming your relationship with yourself, not just with food. So if you've made it this far in the video, you're not looking for another generic solution. You're ready for real transformation. And I've created the Nourish and Flourish Cookbook, which is a completely free resource with 40 strategic recipes designed specifically to help you overcome nighttime binge eating and cravings and reclaim your relationship with food. These aren't just recipes, they're your roadmap to breaking the binge cycle. Download your free copy at the link in the description. And if you want to go deeper, I'm offering a limited number of executive food freedom strategy calls. And during these calls, we're going to uncover your unique eating triggers, identify hidden emotional triggers, and determine if my coaching approach and program is the right fit for you. So go book your free strategy call today at the link in the description as well. And if you're serious about transforming your relationship with food, subscribe to this channel. Every week, I'm breaking down strategies that help high-achieving women reclaim their power, their health, and their potential. So hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, because your breakthrough is waiting.